Canada comes up short in their semifinal at the FIBA World Cup against Serbia. Hey everyone, Rob Wong, joined alongside by Toronto Sun NBA and basketball writer Ryan Wolstat. And Ryan, Canada was hoping to win gold at the FIBA World Cup, but those dreams were dashed after a 95-86 loss to Serbia in the semis. What went wrong for Canada in this one?
Well, unfortunately, they ran into a bit of a buzzsaw. Serbia has been as good as anyone in this tournament. They are just a really efficient team that plays team basketball. They move the ball beautifully. They switch on defense. They're pesky. They're very big. They can shoot the three. They're just a really good team. And the amazing thing is they're missing maybe the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, who's resting after leading the Nuggets to the title. And then they're missing a key point guard and maybe even another starter, some say. So next year in the Olympics, they'll be even stronger. But even the team that showed up on Friday was plenty good enough to handle Canada. I think the big thing for me was literally the bigs. Canada, a weakness for years and years, as many great guards as we've produced and small forwards. That 7-foot stud just continues to elude us. And when Canada plays a team like Serbia with quality 7-footers that can, muck it up inside, post up, they just don't have the answers. Credit to Kelly Olynyk and Dwight Powell. They play as hard as they can, but the fact is they're just not as big as these guys. Like, they're giving up a bunch of inches and a lot of pounds, and that continues to hurt Canada because Zach Edey, the young big man, 7'4" from Toronto, he's just not ready. He can't move. He's not mobile enough to play at this level or experienced yet. So I think the big thing was, yes, that Canada had a big trouble handling the size of Serbia, and that's going to be an issue moving forward. And then, when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just average or slightly above average instead of spectacular as he's in all tournament, then Canada's going to have some problems.
So you mentioned the Olympics next year, of course, and a lot of these players that are on Team Canada will be joining that squad in Paris next year. But what other reinforcements could Canada potentially be getting to help face some of these top-notch teams in Europe?
Well, potentially, you would expect Jamal Murray to be there, Jokic's teammate, who also took the summer off. He's been committed, even though he hasn't been physically able to take the court. He's been taking part in training camps and stuff the last couple of years. So you would expect almost 100%, barring injury, that Murray will be there, and that will solve a lot of issues. That is one heck of a sidekick for Gilgeous-Alexander. Another issue for Canada was the limited offense. If Dylan Brooks or somebody else wasn't hot from three, or RJ Barrett didn't have it going, it was all really on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's shoulders. And with Jamal Murray, who's an even better scorer than, pretty much in the clutch, especially, than just about any player on the planet, that's a huge, huge help. And I know I mentioned the bigs were limited, but the backcourt isn't quite deep enough. So Murray solves a lot of those problems. And then you add, potentially, who knows, Andrew Wiggins is hit or miss. He showed up in 2015 and almost got Canada back to the Olympics in Mexico City. And he showed up a couple of years ago in the Last Chance tournament in Victoria and almost got Canada back to the Olympics. But he's also not shown up a whole number of other times. But if Andrew Wiggins is there, it gives you another elite defender, great size on the wing, another guy who can fill it up. So just Murray and Wiggins alone would make a huge difference. But again, you're still missing that inside presence. So that could hamper Canada deep in that tournament, the Olympic tournament, against big teams. But I think if you have Wiggins and Murray added to this group, you've got a chance.
So it'll be Canada versus Team USA for bronze on Sunday morning after Germany upset the Americans. What can we expect in this matchup, which should be pretty good for the bronze medal?
Well, it's tough. You get your reward for having such a great tournament, and you have to play the mighty Americans. Now, they're not as scary as usual. They have dropped a couple games. This is probably their C team. They still have some really, really good players like Anthony Edwards and defensive player like Darren Jackson, who'll be a handful. And Jalen Brunson's really crafty, but they're not the same unbeatable Americans we've seen in the past. So, Canada will be gunning hard, trying to prove a point against their North American rivals. But I also expect the Americans to be pretty mad about what's gone on, and I think it's going to be a great game. It would have been nice to see Germany again. Canada played them twice in friendlies leading into the competition. The team split those games, so that would have been fun. But Serbia-Germany is going to be really good, and I think USA-Canada could be a classic too, as long as both teams continue to play hard and don't just kind of get ready to board a plane to come home. And I don't think they will. I think both teams, as I said, have something to play for, and it should be a good one. And I think this is as good a shot as Canada's going to have to beat the Americans.
Yeah, Canada looking for that first medal at a FIBA World Cup, and we'll see how they do. For all of Ryan's NBA and basketball coverage, head over to the Toronto Sun.